Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something pretty cool. YesWelder reached out to me and said they wanted to send out their new welder so I could check it out and use it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the box, see what's inside, and then we're going to use it on the 63 ragtop that we're restoring back there. So let me go get the box and we'll open it up. So guys, here it is. This is the YesWelder DP200. DP stands for dual pulse, and that is one of the features this machine has. The dual pulse technology, as well as smart parameter matching, which is like it can tell how thick the material you're welding is to help set the welder as you're going. And you can also use a spool gun with it because it is a MIG welder. You can do flux core with it, lift, TIG, stick welding, etc. And it is dual voltage 120 240. Now, as you know from before, I have awesome experience with these YesWelders. I always recommend them to people. They're really affordable. They're great machines. They always do exactly what they're supposed to do. They are packaged really well usually. There's this box in this one, with a label on it, there's things in it. There's no label on that box. We'll look at that briefly. And this is the machine right here. And that is what we get. So let me open up that other box and we'll see what's inside that. Here's the other box. I imagine this is where all this stuff is. Yep. So we've got MIG gun with a liner. Gonna need that if you're gonna be welding, and it comes with some tips and a wrench to change them. Awesome. Your conversion plug for 240 to 110. A stick torch. Not really a torch. I don't remember what these are actually called, but it's for stick welding. Grounding clamp. Gas hose, and the rollers for the MIG wire, because you want to make sure you are using the right rollers. So we've got 045, 030K, and 030V on one side, and the other side 035, 035K, and 025V. V and K, the K is knurled, and the V is not. It is V. See that up close. You can see the K. Well, this is a V one, sorry. This one is smooth, and this one is knurled. Of course, we have to peel the screen protector off. Wow. Alright guys, so I've got the machine set up. I put it on the welding cart. Put the wire in. I'm using 023 wire, obviously MIG wire, and the machine did come with rollers of all varieties. So there's regular rollers, V-groove, and knurled ones for whatever wire your heart desires. It also has a very neat feature which I enjoy, which I'll show you. Inside the machine there is a built-in holder for the spare rollers that you have and spare tips that you have, so you can organize them and you're ready to go. And setting it up was very easy. All I did was pick the proper roller. Goes right in here. You undo this one, slide the roller on, put it back in, put the wire reel on, and it has the adapter for the big rolls. And pretty much go as you want, just like any other welder. Set the tension. That's what mine is at right there. I like that it has numbers so you can adjust it and know. You know, if you're using MIG wire, you want this tension. If you're using flux core, you want another tension. Write it down and you'll know. Also, came with a wrench. Always good to have. So, now that the machine is all set up, we're going to turn it on and see what it has to offer. Right now, I've got it hooked up to 110 using the supplied adapter. And it works. YesWelder DP200. Oh, see the lights flicker. Now, I was reading in the manual that the dual pulse feature is only available with 220, so I don't know if we're going to get to that in this video, because the only 220 I have is hardwired for the compressor, so I might need to bring it to the shop just to see what that has to offer, or I'll see if I can make something happen here, maybe with a generator. But we are greeted with a pretty fancy display, it looks like. Steel, 80%, 024, 20 gauge, 2T, memory, a lot of options. This is wire feed speed, I'm assuming, inches per minute, and then volts. Okay, so the left knob is doing the wire feed speed. Middle knob is selecting things. Right knob is volts. So that's standard, it seems. Wire feed, voltage, these ones. This one is what's going to be controlling other things. Now, right off the bat, we'll hit the question mark. And it seems to know the machine is set up in MIG mode right now, and it's showing us a picture of what we need to do MIG and where all the wires should be connected, which is cool, because with this machine you can do, like I said before, many things, and it has the quick connect wires, so you can quick change them for the different types of welding you're doing, and being able to see a picture of how it should be is good. So steel, if I turn the middle one, it's going to select. What if I click on steel? Alright, and I can pick between steel, stainless, and I think these are aluminums, AL4043 and AL5356, but I'm not sure. And I say I think they're aluminums because with this machine you can use the spool gun, but included with it also is this carbon liner, and with the carbon liner you can use aluminum wires through the regular MIG gun. 80% argon, what are our options there? So 80% 20, that is perfectly compatible for 75-25, which I feel is more common. 100% CO2, 90-10, 98-2, 100% argon, and helium trimix. That's what I think HE is, helium. Couldn't tell you. We'll stick with the 80-20. 0.024, that would be the wire. Options are 24, 30, 35, and 45. 20 gauge. This is the one that you pick how thick the steel is you are welding, and it's automatically going to set the machine to what it thinks is going to be the best settings for you, and then you can fine-tune them from there. What we'll be testing with today is 20 gauge, and when we start welding on the car later in the video, it'll still be 20 gauge, but that is nice to know, because you can just be like, I want it. Well, actually, I'll show you. So with 20 gauge, I've played with these, obviously, now, but it 165 and 0.8. Now let's say that we want to do 22 gauge, which is also common on cars. 157.8. Alright, go back to 20 gauge. 197.8 is what it wants it to be. 18 gauge, 295.8. So the voltage stays the same. Wire feed speed is changing. Interesting. We'll go back to 20. 2T, that's typical with these YesWelders. I've kind of figured out what it means. 2T, 4T, 2T, 4T, spot, S4T. S4T I think is new for this machine. Spot, spot. 2T, just like any other welder. Click the trigger, it's feeding. Let off the trigger, it's not feeding. 4T, I think it's click the trigger, it's on. You can let off the trigger, it stays going. You click it again, it turns off. Messes with me. We'll leave it on 2T. Memory. Guess you can save settings, perhaps give them names. Okay. MIG gun. Or spool gun, because it's in MIG mode. Gas check. Yes, I heard it. Pulse off. And it won't let me do pulse because I'm not in 220. Advanced. Here we can play with our pre-flow. That's the welding speed. Burn back, post-flow, inductance. Higher the inductance, the less spatter from what I understand. And then help. So yeah, that seems to be everything for the MIG, which is basically what we're going to be going over in this video. I will not be playing with the lift TIG, and I don't plan on doing any stick welding. And I feel like if you're going to be buying this machine, you're mainly getting it for the MIG, perhaps the lift TIG feature as well. But MIG is what I use, so that's what we'll be doing. That's what I'm most familiar with. So we've got it on 20 gauge, 197.8. That's where it wants to be. So let me get some metal, and we'll see how good it is at predicting what we want. Alright, so this is going to be our first test here. We're going to be doing plug welds, butt welds, and probably a lap weld. And these are just rough tests because later in the video we're going to be using the welder on the car for real. So we'll see how it performs in like real working. But in perfect environment tests, let's see how it works. Now these are 2 pieces of 20 gauge steel clamped together, cleaned with approximately 8mm holes. I've got the machine, all I did was tell it it's 20 gauge, so the wire feed is 197, volts is 0.8. We're going to see how it does. I'm sorry if I am in your way any. Not bad, but I forgot to put the gas on all the way. I turned it off after we did the gas check. That one doesn't really count, but I mean, for no gas it didn't do that bad. And it actually stuck, supposedly. Let's do the middle one now with the gas on. Let me make sure you can still see it. Yeah, you can see. Not bad. That's me missing it because I'm blind, but alright. We'll do the last one. Not bad at all. So we have Dubworks forgot to turn the gas on. Dubworks is blind. Really good, and you can see insane penetration on the weld. It burned through the back actually. So it could be a little hot or too much wire, but the welds are flat, like really nice. So let's try a butt weld now. So here's our butt weld. Funny, it's the same piece, isn't it? Well, we've got a new one next to it, and we're just gonna see. Seems really good for me. Good penetration, isn't blowing through. Pretty nice flat welds. Pretty impressed so far. Yeah, I like that. I could use this all day. Pretty nice. Welds stacking on top of each other. Now typically, and you'll see in future videos when we're working on the car, when I'm butt welding and I'm putting a panel in, every about inch or so, I do about an inch of welds maybe, I grind them right away and then I go to the other side of the panel, because I find I rather grind the welds down as I'm doing them than have, you know, a foot or two of welds that I then have to grind down at the end, because not only do I get a cleaner area to do the next set of welds on because the first set is ground down, but I don't have to spend, let's say, an hour and a half welding and then an hour and a half grinding. I'm just doing it as I go. Here's the back side. Good penetration. Let's try ripping it apart. Nope. Just rolling nicely. And now for our final test, which I have no doubts that it'll do flawlessly at, because it seems to be working really awesome. A lap weld, which kind of uncommon in body working, but nonetheless. As you can see, I'm just continuing on without waiting. I don't care about warpage on this because it's basically a test panel. You wouldn't do this on a car. Here's our lap weld. Good on the front side, pretty good penetration. Nice stack of welds. Good on the back. Tear it apart. I can't. Just bending it. Pretty warm. But there we go. This is our test coupon. 3 plug welds. Bad, better, best. A butt weld and a lap weld. I can't think of anything else you would really do on auto body steel besides these 3. So now that we've done our tests, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm very happy with the settings it chose for 20 gauge. That's pretty impressive. We only had one burn through down here, and it really wasn't a burn through. You can see the gap is significantly wider than it should be because I didn't trim them, so there was kind of a bow to the butt. So when I clicked it, welded, and it didn't connect. Not really a burn through, but I'm happy. So we're gonna have to use it on the car, I suppose. Alright guys, so hopefully I'm not blocking your view. We've got our patch clamped in place right about where I want it. There is some movement to where it can be. It is not a precision matter. This just welds to the top of the heater channel. I can hammer it down, I can hammer it up. It does measure properly. Made this to match as best as I can. Once it's tacked, like here, whatever, I gotta trim this to fit in, and then I can mess around with this a little to get the curve perfect, but it is pretty close now. The only thing is I think I cut it a little short here, which is fine because the rust kind of extends all the way up to here, so I'm just gonna make another piece to weld to it. It's easier for me sometimes to make patches in multiple sections instead of trying to make it like it was stamped one piece, because I don't have stamps to do that. But we're going to start welding. We've got the machine just set to 22 gauge, which is roughly what I think this is. It's not 20 gauge. And we've got it ground here. So let's just go for it. I didn't grab gloves. But that should be fine, I think. Oh, I'm moving the light. Moving your light. I'm sorry. How's that? It's probably gonna move anyway again, but That's pretty good. Alright guys, so we're back. Another day. As you saw in the previous clips, we got this section welded with the YesWelder DP200. Worked pretty good. It took a little bit to get it dialed in pretty well because this is old metal. It's rusty on the back side. We tried cleaning it as best we can, but it's still pitted. And this is not very good new metal, but it works really well. So now we're doing this spot, and we're basically just going to finish this patch up. And you can see we've got a pretty big gap here that we're going to have to fill because cut away, it's thin, so we're going to do that. Not bad. There's no real glamorous way to fill a gap like that, and it seems to have done it pretty well. You can see the burn mark penetrated pretty well. I don't think it's going anywhere. We got here still, and up here we're gonna have to do something else. We're gonna have to make a separate patch, but we'll probably do that when the heater channel goes in so we can make sure everything fits the way it should. Alright guys, so we just finished welding in the patch here with the YesWelder DP200, and overall I'm really happy with it. It welded pretty good once it got going, once we tuned it in. You can see in the video that there was some fine tunage that had to get done, and I don't think it really likes dirty metal. No welder does, but this one in particular, you have to make sure it's really clean. And but once you do, it gets going pretty good. This patch is not going anywhere, and we're pretty good now to set the heater channel in too, I think. You can see our patch follows the lines pretty well. The angle is pretty good, and I think it's going to be a pretty good fit. Matches pretty well to the original. All that's left is to make a little bigger piece for this corner here, and then put the channel in so that we can make this section here that comes down. I really don't think there is much that comes down. I think this is going to come out to here, and then that's going to be it. It's just going to go from here over, and this welds to the channel. But guys, like I said, I am pretty happy with the YesWelder DP200. If you're interested in a new MIG welder, definitely consider this one. There'll be a link in the description. I did not check out the dual pulse feature in this video. I know I don't have a 240 outlet anywhere nearby, and I may bring it to work and do that so that you can see that in action. I don't know how functional that's going to be in my use though, with the auto body steel and everything, but overall I really do enjoy this welder. It works awesome, especially you saw in the test on the clean steel. If you can make sure everything is super clean, it's going to do awesome. And even on metal here on the car that was pitted and rusty on the back side and stuff, it still did really good once it started burning through it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next time, might have a heater channel and we don't know. I don't even know because I haven't gotten that far. But we will see you then, guys, so take care, and I will see you in the next video. And thank you to YesWelder for sending out the welder for a review, and always happy to partner up with them. So, like I said, if you are interested in a new YesWelder, check the link in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.